This is the Bank Nifty daily charts. As you can see, volatile day opened up here, came down, moved up, and essentially created a candle with essentially very little body. This is kind of how today's trading session went. This is the 15-minute chart. You can see over here, I'll explain what this is. The market opened up today at 37,238. Yesterday it closed at 37,145. Straddle opened up at 1079 and yesterday it closed at 1057. So even though there was such a sharp move yesterday, the market still opened up higher in spite of very sort of weak global cues. This is kind of how I had planned today. Now, this is something that I'm still learning, trend lines. This is the 1 hour chart. And if I were to draw a trend line from this bottom all the way here, this is the kind of trend line that I was projecting for the Bank Nifty. Uh, and this was a place where 36,900 or so, where the market was coming here and it bounced up, right? So there's a big move over here. So our objective was to see what will happen around this 36,900 odd levels. So the minute the market sort of started breaching that is when we started taking massive actions. Another couple of things that we noticed today is IVs were constantly increasing. IVs that I think opened up around 21, 22 in the morning became 24. I think at one point of the day they were even 25. So when we're looking our market prices, um, what was positive yesterday was starting to look close to zero, and at one point of the day it was even negative. Even though there was nothing wrong with the range, but just because of this increase in IVs, this is something that your notional value of the stock just goes up. Premiums just suddenly shoot up. So everything that looks weaker. So that was one of the things that we learned today is making sure that when IVs are high, rather than panic, actually write more because that premium decay will happen even faster. So that's kind of what we ended up doing, right? As the markets were moving lower, we were writing puts. As the markets were moving higher, we were writing calls in and out of the money. So we were maintaining a very wide range. I think we were maintaining a range of almost 2,000 odd points for most of the trading days today. So this is kind of what it went. IVs around 1120, which is around here also, had reached. Straddle had reached 1200. What had started off at 1079 in the day had suddenly become 1200. IVs around here had become 25. So we had puts that were in the money. We had the opportunity to move them, keep them there, but add puts. I think at 35,500 or so, and market around here is 36,500. 1,000 points away, we were getting 200, 220 rupee premium. So we definitely wrote that to have a huge range today. Ultimately, market bottomed out here. We saw a reversal sign coming here. Market tested and moved up. This support zone was taken out in the beginning itself. So again, this was kind of what we were looking at, this 36,900 odd levels, what would happen around here, because over here is where the market bounced back, took some support and continued to win. So 36,950 odd levels was very critical for us to see what the market does. Again, today it came here, tested it and moved up. Honestly, the move up today was surprising. We thought if it covered some ground, would come up a little bit, maybe close around 36,900 odd levels. But the minute it started breaking, surprised all of us. And by the end of the day, we closed all our positions and we ended up much better than we did yesterday. Straddle closed today around 973. Started at 1079, came down or came up to 1200, and then from 1200 became 973 at the end of the day. So overall, a good day for us. Trading again, not for this week, but the following week is giving us a better advantage in terms of wider premiums, bigger ranges. So big moves like this aren't really affecting us too much. We've got enough time to thoughtfully look at our actions, not let the emotions get the benefit of us, and move forward. Now, coming to tomorrow, this is what we are looking at. Now, this downward trend's out. We have a potential upward trend for tomorrow. If I look at this here, here, moving upwards, I'll draw it a little neater. If you're looking at this trend line here, what we're immediately seeing is this potential resistance. So 37,400 odd levels. Even if you look at the 1 hour chart, you can see that over here, this 37,500 odd levels are the ones that are going to be critical. So if the market actually breaches 37,500, it can potentially go up to 38,000. um, it's a tough resistance. This is quite a bit of resistance that we've had. And on the flip side, this is a support, this 36,500 odd levels. But more interestingly, I'm always curious to see what happens around this 36,900 levels. So depending on where the market actually opens, if it opens up, gap down, takes some support, moves up, or opens up, covers up the gap, potentially goes down. If it opens up, gap up, looking at seeing what happens here. Can it actually continue its uptrend, or will it sort of meet this resistance and stay range bound for tomorrow? It's wait and watch to see. But if I were to guess where the market would go, I would think 37,500 to 36,900, maybe 36,600. If I would choose wider range, this might be the range for tomorrow. But Bank Nifty is something that's always surprising us. So we have to keep ourselves flexible so we can add positions for tomorrow, wait for what can happen tomorrow in terms of the first hour or so of trading. Let's see what happens, especially with IVs being high. It's an amazing time for us to ride to get that DK quickly so we can end our weeks in profit.